Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh. May peace, blessings, and mercy of Allah the Almighty be on all of you. In my pre-match analysis of Afghanistan versus New Zealand, let me first give you an idea of how the weather is going to be like tomorrow. It seems that it's going to be rainy tomorrow. There are two games at the MCG. First, England is going to play against Ireland, and then Afghanistan is going to play against New Zealand. Now, that said, I hope that during the match of Afghanistan between New Zealand, it's not rainy and that both the teams get to play their 20 overs and we have a full 40-over games. But that said, it's going to be very important who win the toss, because whoever win the toss, it's very important that they put the opposition to bat first. Why I say this is because actually there's a lot of purchase up front for the seamers. We saw this in the game between India and Pakistan, and I'm giving a reference to India and Pakistan game because that was one very beautiful game. And we did see how Rizwan and how Babar fell cheaply to Arshdeep Singh. But then again, we'll see how things go. My thing will be, if Muhammad Nabi wins the toss, hopefully that he will decide to field first. And at the same time, if you see rain coming, I think it is nice to know what you're chasing than not knowing, and then the opposition can actually capitalize on that leverage of knowing what the target is and then chase it down. Because then you don't have the scare of losing wickets and not being able to build the partnership, because you might well end up chasing a very little total and then you can just do it and go from the ball, first ball, go and hit the boundaries and not care much about the wicket. So that said, if you win the toss, it's important if you decide to bowl first. But then again, they have their own plans and they have their own decisions to make. So this will be my take from the toss. And then at the same time, looking at the Afghanistan squad, I think Rahmanullah Gurbaz and Hazratullah Zazai are still a good pair, because the ICC had considered him to be the 6th among the 16 as for their stats are concerned. Hazratullah Zazai was playing a little bit conservative. And I just read somewhere, and he said, I read the quote for Hazratullah Zazai saying that he'll be playing a more expressive innings after that he will be playing his natural game, which is striking the ball hard and getting the score up front. And how so important are the power play overs in this T20 World Cup? We've seen this. I mean, if you score good runs during the power play, you carry that momentum with you, because then it's not as easy for you to be able to score runs freely. See, that's the benefit of the power play, because at that you only have two fielders outside the 30-yard circle. So you have a huge ground to target and you just have to clear the infield, and then you can score runs and can get the boundaries, which otherwise are not as easy to get. That said, Afghanistan will then also have to look at the role of an anchor. And for that, my best take will be Ibrahim Zadran. Usman Ghani can fit in that job as well. But it's really, really important that one of the batters in Afghanistan actually decide to anchor the innings. And it's not that we lose wickets for very little runs that we just saw against England. Ibrahim Zadran or Usman Ghani? But then we have Najibullah Zadran. Now, Najibullah Zadran, I always prefer him to come and play at number 4. But if you are playing Usman Ghani and Ibrahim Zadran is a must for our squad, then it seems like Najib Zadran will be coming and playing at number 5. Najib Zadran, talking about and looking at the history, has scored a great innings of 73 or something, I guess, against New Zealand, where Afghanistan had not been able to play such a phenomenal innings that sometimes Afghanistan can put. But this was Najib Zadran that stood there and made sure that Afghanistan at least had a respectable total of 124, I think, which New Zealand very comfortably chased. 11 balls were still left before the chase was over. That said, it will also again require for Najibullah Zadran to play that kind of innings. Down the order, the all-rounder Muhammad Nabi, but Azmatullah Omarzai, if he is playing, it's very important for him to know that he is a batting all-rounder. So there's a lot more responsibility on his shoulder as a batter. But at the same time, as a bowler, he also carries a lot of responsibility as well. But he has to also focus on his batting. And my suggestion for the batters will be that they don't have to slog the ball around the ground, because MCG is huge. And you see the fielders having already stood 10-15 yards away from the boundary rope, meaning that that's such a huge ground. You will not be very comfortably able to clear that. So the best thing will be that you just take ones and then turn the ones into twos and then turn the twos into threes. And that's how you all of a sudden can see a big total on the board, and then you can also have the odd boundaries when you get a bad ball. That said, Afghanistan has Rashid Khan, Mujib Rahman, Mujibur Rahman, I got stuck with Mujibur Rahman. Such a beautiful bowler he is, absolutely. And then we have Muhammad Nabi, the spin trio. But we also have Qais actually considered for this T20 World Cup. So I wouldn't mind bringing in Qais. One of the good things about Qais that actually I like, and I met him in Shpagiza Cricket League back in the year 2020, and then he was telling me that he actually prefers bowling back according to his field. Doesn't mean that the other bowlers are not, but this guy is really, really a smart bowler. And knowing that it's a huge pitch and it's a huge ground, I think he is one who can actually capitalize on that, and he can play with the mind of the batter, inviting him to hit the ball, but not giving him enough room to be able to clear the boundary. So he could produce some breakthroughs in that case, but you'll then have to see if he fits in the playing 11 for the Afghanistan side or not. And then, of course, we have the Pacers, Naveen and Farid and Fazal Haq Farooqi, our wonderful bowler, along with Salim Safi, who's also been part of the squad. And who knows, if you have a 140 plus, it's always a privilege. It's always a luxury to have such a bowler, because 140 plus is doing wonders in Australia, and we've been seeing it, particularly if you bowl short of a link and you hit the link hard. And we just saw Haris Rauf doing beautiful bowling, and he's absolutely a very experienced bowler, and he's played in Australia, so he knows the conditions. But that too means that Rashid Khan, Mujib and Nabi and Qais, they are familiar with the condition in Australia as well, so that's actually going to be handy. Talking about our fielding, it's also a very important factor. Unfortunately, we dropped 2 catches in our game against England. We are a good fielding outfit. I mean, no doubt about it. Najib is one of our best fielders. Qais is a very good fielder as well. Rashid Khan is such a phenomenal fielder. Muhammad Nabi took one of the best catches of the tournament so far against England. So you can never rule us out as for our fielding units concerned, but it's just that you need to bring yourself together and you need to express yourself. Finally, for Muhammad Nabi as a captain, he has to really read the situation very, very cunningly, meaning that he needs to know when he uses his bowlers, because that's really, really important thing. I bring to you the game between India and Pakistan. When you look at the game of India and Pakistan, how Pakistan lost, the critiques will say that Babar Azam did not use his bowlers properly. At least a lot of cricket experts will tell you. It could be subjective, but then again, you as a captain need to really focus on utilizing your bowlers in the best precise manners. You bring in Mujib Zadran up front during the power play or not. You give him the second or the first over, or you give him the 5th over, for instance. And then how do you use Azmatullah Omar Sai? Is he really your pace attack that you give him the 1st or the 2nd over along with Fazal Haq Farooqi? Or is he someone that you need to utilize in the between overs, as India, for instance, uses Hardik Pandya and others? So these are the things that you need to have your homework done on. And then again, all the best for Afghanistan. I hope that we will get to see a full 40-over game, and I hope that we will get to see Afghanistan winning the second game of their T20 World Cup. New Zealand has already suffered a loss in this ground, and it was against Australia when they were playing the Cricket World Cup final. So history can repeat itself. Afghanistan will just have to do the same thing and play proper lines, and who knows, they might well hopefully get a win and get themselves their first points in this T20 Cricket World Cup. Thank you very much.